Stop scrolling. This is the wake-up call your 20s have been waiting for. This is not a rehearsal. This is the main event. Every second counts. The choices you make right now are building the foundation of your entire future. Society will tell you to wait, to wander, to waste time. But that's a lie. The truth? Your 20s are the launch pad. The stakes are real. The clock is ticking. Every job, every relationship, every risk you take is shaping the person you're becoming. This is your opening act. The curtain is up. Are you ready to step into the spotlight? This isn't to scare you. It's to hand you the keys. Use this decade, or lose it. If you're ready to make your 20s count, subscribe now. This is where your transformation begins. One of the most surprising truths about your 20s is that the most important work is often done in solitude. Discovering who you are is not a group project. In a world saturated with social media, where lives are performed for an audience, it's easy to believe that identity is something you curate externally. But true self-discovery happens in the moments no one sees, when you're wrestling with a difficult book, pushing through a tough workout, or sitting with your own thoughts without the distraction of a screen. I once worked with a young artist who dreamed of having her own gallery show. For years, she only painted when inspiration struck, which was rare. Her 20s were slipping by, filled with unfinished canvases. The change came when she decided to treat her art like a job. She committed to being in her studio from 9 to noon every single day, whether she felt creative or not. It was a grueling, lonely discipline. But slowly, a body of work emerged. She built herself as an artist not through a flash of genius, but through the mundane, repetitive act of showing up. Your 20s are a time of tremendous social flux. Friendships from high school and college often fade, and you are faced with building a new community from scratch. This can feel daunting, but it is also a profound opportunity. The people you choose to surround yourself with during this decade will have an outsized impact on your identity, your habits, and your sense of what is possible. As the saying goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I remember a young woman who was struggling with her career. Her friend group was lovely, but they were all complacent and spent most of their time together complaining. She met a new acquaintance at a workshop who was ambitious and passionate about her work. Spending time with this new friend shifted her entire perspective. Suddenly, her career dissatisfaction felt less like an unchangeable reality and more like a problem to be solved. She was borrowing belief from someone who had it in spades. This selective process can sometimes feel ruthless. It may mean creating distance from friends you've known for years, people you love but who are holding you back. This isn't about judgment or superiority. It's an act of self-preservation. You cannot grow in a garden full of weeds. Perhaps the most unspoken truth of all is that your 20s can be a minefield for your mental health. This is the decade where anxiety and depression rates often spike. The pressure is immense. You're supposed to find the right career, the right partner, and the right life path, all while appearing successful and happy on social media. This relentless comparison, coupled with the inherent uncertainty of this life stage, creates a perfect storm for mental and emotional turmoil. I once worked with a high-achieving law student who, on the surface, had it all together, but privately she was crippled by anxiety. She believed that admitting her struggle would make her seem incapable. Her breakthrough came when she finally confided in a professor, who then connected her with a campus therapist. In therapy, she learned practical tools to manage her anxiety, mindfulness exercises, cognitive reframing techniques, and the importance of scheduling downtime. If you're finding this journey relatable and want more tools for self-development, please subscribe. We're building a space for these exact conversations. Society teaches us to be cautious, get the safe job, follow the linear path, and avoid failure at all costs. But your 20s are, counterintuitively, the best time to take smart, calculated risks. This is the decade when you likely have the least to lose. Fewer financial obligations, no mortgage, no children depending on you. A failure at 25 is a lesson. A failure at 45 can be a catastrophe. Consider the story of a young woman I knew who had a stable, well-paying but soul-crushing job in finance. At 26, she quit to take a massive pay cut and work for a small environmental nonprofit. Her parents were horrified. Her friends thought she was crazy. For the first year, she struggled financially and was filled with doubt. But she was learning new skills, meeting people who shared her values, and doing work that felt meaningful. 5 years later, she was leading a major department at that nonprofit. In an age of instant gratification and public validation, it's easy to get addicted to applause. We post our achievements, count the likes, and measure our worth by external metrics: the job title, the salary, the prestigious company. But one of the most profound shifts you can make in your 20s is to untether your self-worth from outside approval and anchor it to your own internal growth. The deepest, most enduring satisfaction comes not from the applause of the crowd, but from the quiet knowledge that you are becoming a better, more capable version of yourself. I often think of two young professionals who started at the same company. One, we'll call him Ben, was obsessed with titles and promotions. He networked aggressively, took credit for team projects, and was always focused on his next move up the ladder. The other, Sarah, was focused on mastery. She took on the less glamorous projects that no one else wanted because she knew they would teach her the most. Within a few years, Ben had a slightly better title, but Sarah had become indispensable. She chose growth, and the applause eventually followed. Ben chose applause, and his growth stalled. The final, and perhaps most crucial truth of your 20s is this: you are planting seeds for a future you cannot yet see. The daily, often mundane choices you make are like planting tiny saplings. The decision to put 10% of your paycheck into a retirement account, even when it feels pointless. The choice to floss your teeth every night. The effort to maintain a long-distance friendship. The hour you spend learning a new language each week. None of these actions provide an immediate reward. Don't be discouraged by the slow pace of growth. A bamboo tree spends its first few years building an extensive root system underground with no visible progress. Then, in a matter of weeks, it shoots up to its full height. Your 20s are your time to build your root system, your financial habits, your health routines, your emotional intelligence, your core relationships. It's the unseen work that makes all future growth possible. Think of your future self, the you at 40, 50, or 60. What will that person thank you for? They won't thank you for the parties or the fleeting social media fame. They will thank you for starting your 401k. They will thank you for choosing a partner who respected you. They will thank you for planting the trees under whose shade they now get to rest. Your life today is a gift to your future self. Make it a good one. If you found this helpful, subscribe to our channel for more life-changing insights.